Hello guys, hello guys, what's up? Welcome. My name is Manuel, and in today's video, we're going to be seeing how to use state in Terraform. Well, let me put it this way: we're going to be understanding exactly what is state in Terraform and what role that state plays in Terraform when you're defining or deploying your entire infrastructure in the form of code. So, without taking much of your time, let's get started. But before I dive deep and I start talking about state and understanding what state is in Terraform, please take some time to smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and do not forget to turn on the notification so that in case I publish my next video, you'll be the first to be notified. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. So right here in my screen, I have a simple Terraform configuration file, which is called main.tf. And what this Terraform file does is that it creates an EC2 instance. That's what it does. And in here, I have my provider.tf. Don't worry about these credentials. Immediately I'm done with this video, I'll make sure I terminate these credentials. So as you can see on the left side of the screen, I don't have anything, right? Which means I don't have no state file, nothing. The only thing I have is my main.tf and my provider.tf. So what we are going to do is attempt to deploy this EC2 instance with Terraform. And let's see what happens when we delete this EC2 instance with Terraform, when we deploy this EC2 instance with Terraform. So the first thing I would do is obviously open my terminal. So I'll click on my terminal, click on new terminal. Then what I'll do is I'll switch this to bash. I just love using bash, that's fine. I'll do it clear. And the first command I would run is a Terraform format. So this Terraform command, what it does is that it checks your syntax, and it will fix any syntax error within your Terraform configuration file. Like for example, let's say this is supposed to be if this is here, let me save that. If I do a Terraform, let's see, it fixes that stuff. So it's good to always use Terraform format. Then the next Terraform command I will use is Terraform validate. And when I do Terraform validate, it gives me an error. So to fix this problem, they're asking me to run this command here called Terraform init. So I will run Terraform init. And what this command does is that it initializes your Terraform backend. And you see, so it's successful, which is good. Then the next thing I'm going to do is clear. Then I'll run that Terraform validate one more time. And what Terraform validate does is that it simply goes and it checks your entire Terraform configuration, and if there's an error, it will detect that error, and it will let you know that, hey, there's an error, I need you to go fix that error. But now, as you can see, there's no error because it says succeed, which is a good thing. So I'm going to clear. And the next thing I'm going to do is a Terraform plan. And what Terraform plan does is that it gives you an idea of the resources that will be created. And if I go through this Terraform plan, and you see that I have this resource right here that will be created. Then if I look at here, you'll see it's a T2 micro, the instance type, and it also gives you some couple of things, right? So since I'm satisfied with this, the next thing I'm going to do is a Terraform apply. and I'm going to apply this resource. Then I'm going to say yes. You can also use the auto approve if you want to. So I'm going to say yes. And when I say yes, what happens now is that this EC2 instance is being created by Terraform, right? That's kind of what we're seeing. And if you come right here to the left side of the screen, you're going to see that we now have something called a state file. Now, let me explain what state is in Terraform. State in Terraform is what ensures that real-world resources are mapped to your Terraform configuration. And what I mean by that is that when I write this Terraform configuration, right, and do a Terraform apply, what ensures that that EC2 instance was created is something called state. And this information is stored in something called a state file. So that's the first thing you have to understand about state. So let me go into my AWS console, go to EC2. So I'll just click on services, EC2. Then once I get here, I'll click on instances. Then as you can see right here, I have this EC2 instance that's running, and it was deployed by Terraform. And as you can see, the instance state says running, right? So we've successfully created an EC2 instance with Terraform. That's what we've done successfully. So the next thing I want to do is go back to my VS Code. Once I'm here, we want to kind of see, what is in our state file, the information we can find in that state file. Remember, I said that state in Terraform is what ensures that real-world resources are mapped to your Terraform configuration. And the information about, or the information concerning these real-world resources are stored in something called a state file. And the state file I'm talking about is this file right here called terraform.tfstate. So if I go inside of the state file, you're going to see a couple of things. The first thing, if we look carefully, is we're going to see like this AMI, this Amazon resource name. You can also find that information in the state file. The availability zone in which that my EC2 instance was created, it says US East 1D. So if I go back to AWS and I look at this, you see it says US East 1D, which means state has that information. So let's go back and let's see what we can find in here. I can find the instance ID right here. And one thing that's important for us to check in state is the instance state. As you can see right now, it says running. And if you look into your AWS account, you'll see that the instance is running, which is a good thing. Then if we go back, we can also see the instance type, which is a good thing. So if you deploy this, telling us that if we deploy a specific resource with Terraform, we can actually go inside of the state file and have information about that resource. Now let's look at something. So let's say I go into my AWS account right here, and I stop this instance. So I'm going to click on the instance, then I'll click instance state, and I will stop this instance. So what's happening is that the instance is stopping. So we're just going to give it some time to stop. Okay guys, I'm back. As you can see, our EC2 instance has stopped right here. So the first thing we're going to try to do is check our state file to see the instance state in our state file. So right here, I'm in my state file. As you can see, it says running. The reason why it says running is because we have not refreshed the state file. So I can either just shut it down or try to open it, says running, or I can just refresh the state file. So I'm going to do a Terraform refresh. Then what I will do is I will refresh, this entire state file. Now, when I refresh the state file, the first thing you can notice is that state is telling us that the EC2 instance is stopped, which is true, right? So if I go back to my AWS account, as you can see, the instance state here is stopped. And if I go back to my Terraform configuration and I go to my state file, I can clearly see that the instance right here is stopped. So one thing state can do is that state can also help track your entire infrastructure and give you information on the current state of your infrastructure. Now let's see if we do a Terraform apply. Let's see what happens when we do a Terraform apply. So let me see. So I'll do a Terraform apply. Terraform apply. And nice. So when I do a Terraform apply, as you can see, the first thing it says is that no changes. Your infrastructure matches the configuration. That's the first thing. Terraform has compared your real infrastructure against your configuration and found no differences. So there's technically no difference between my Terraform configuration and the current infrastructure we have, right? And right now it's still tracking, it's still saying stop. But let's see what happens when I go into the console. I click on my instance, I go to actions, I go to instance setting, and I go to change instance type. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change our instance type. Let me look for, I'm looking for a T2. So we're going to change it to something else. Maybe like we're going to change it to, let me see. So I'm just going to change it to a T2 small right here, and I'll click apply. Okay, so right now we have an EC2 instance we deployed with Terraform. The instance state is stopped, and the instance type is T2 small. So this is the current state of our infrastructure. We have a stopped instance, that's a T2 small. So what we're going to do is go back to VS Code, go into our Terraform configuration, and we're going to see our desired state. So what we just saw in our AWS console is the current state of our infrastructure. But what is our desired state? Our desired state is that we want an instance that's a T2 micro, right? So let me do a Terraform apply one more time and let's see what happens. Nice. So when I do a Terraform apply, what happens is that Terraform is able to detect, that my current state, which is the state I have in my AWS account, does not match my desired state. And Terraform is telling me that, hey, Emmanuel, listen, some resources will be changed. Like for example, as you can see right here, it says the instance type, will be changed from a T2 small to a T2 micro. Why? Because that's my desired state. I desire a T2 micro, but my current state is a T2, small. And what Terraform does is that it would always try as much as possible to ensure that your current state matches your desired state. So I'm going to say yes, and let's see what happens. So right now, Terraform is not creating an EC2 instance, but what Terraform is doing is that Terraform is modifying that EC2 instance to meet my desired state. So if I go back to my AWS account and I do a refresh, as you can see, I have my instance that's right here, and the instance state right here is pending. But if you pay attention to the instance type, you will notice that the instance type has changed from a T2 small to a T2 micro. Why? Because a T2 micro is my desired state. It's what I have declared in my Terraform configuration, and Terraform will always ensure that I have that T2 micro. The reason why I'm talking about this is because if you're a DevOps engineer and you're working in an organization and developers are constantly, going into the console and changing EC2 instances without permission and stuff like that, if someone does a Terraform apply, that will destroy their work. So always ensure, or always make sure that if you're working with Terraform and if there are some changes that are to be made, always make sure that developers or other DevOps engineers make this change directly from your Terraform configuration file. Then the next thing we want to look is a couple of commands. The first command I want you to know is something called Terraform state list. And what Terraform state list will do is that it will list all the resources in your state file right here. As you can see right now, we have just one resource, which is EC2_instance, and the name of that resource is web. And another command I want you to know is Terraform destroy. So you can actually do a Terraform state list to list all the resources in your state file. Then you can do a Terraform. Then you can do a Terraform destroy dash target equals to, then you can specify this resource right here. And what would happen is that Terraform would only destroy this resource. So this command is very, very helpful when you want to destroy specific resources, because let's imagine that you have 10 resources right in your state file and you do a Terraform destroy. You will destroy all those resources. But if you use this command and target specific resources, you can delete just those resources. So I'm going to delete this resource right now. If I hit enter, and as you can see, what's happening is that this resource will be deleted. Yes, right here it says destroying. So if I go into my AWS account, I refresh, you'll see that this EC2 instance is shutting down right here. And after shutting down, what would happen is that it would be terminated, right? So let's go back to our Terraform configuration. And let's just give it some time, for that resource to be deleted. Then let's come back and, it has been deleted. Right here, you can see it says destroy complete. Resources, it says 1 destroyed right here, which is great and which is amazing, right? So I've destroyed that resource, and now if I go inside of my state file, there is nothing. So if I do a Terraform refresh, it won't see anything, right? It says warning, empty or non-existent state, and it says the there are currently no remote object trapped in the state. So there is nothing to refresh, right? Why? Because we've deleted that resource. Now, let's go and let's create that resource back. So let's do a Terraform apply. I'm going to do a Terraform dash auto approve. Hopefully the command works. Cool. So it auto approves. I don't need to type the yes or whatsoever. So I'm just going to give it some time for this resource to be, created. Once the resource is up and running, then I'll come back. Okay, guys, I'm back, and as you can see, now we have, one resource that has been added. So if you go back to our AWS account and we refresh, we should see that we have, one resource right here that's running. So let's see what happens when we delete our, terraform.tf state. Let's see what happens. What will happen if we delete our state file? So I'll click right here and I'll delete the state file. I'll also delete the backup, just to make sure that we don't have anything that's state related. So when you delete your state file, the first thing that will happen is that if you do a Terraform state list, you won't see anything, right? So sorry, that command is not correct. So Terraform state list. Okay, cool. A Terraform state list will not give you anything. Why? Because it says no state file was found. Why? We deleted that state file. That's the first thing. Now let's see what happens if we do a Terraform apply. So if we do a Terraform apply, what will happen is that Terraform will create a new state file right here, and it will also launch a brand new instance. So if I refresh this, you'll see that we have a brand new instance that's coming up. And the reason why, even though Terraform created this EC2 instance up here the first time, Terraform cannot remember that they created this EC2 instance. Why? Because where Terraform takes its information is in the state file, and we deleted that state file. So technically, Terraform has no way to remember that, hey, I created this EC2 instance already. Now let's see what happens when we have the state file and we just do a little modification and we say instance 2, save it. Let me do that Terraform apply one more time. So I'm just going to do the Terraform apply dash auto approve right there. What is happening is that it's refreshing, the state. And the reason why Terraform is not creating the second EC2 instance is because, or a third EC2 instance is because Terraform has checked the state file and was able to determine or understand that this EC2 instance has been created already, and that the only thing that that has changed is that the name or the tag of the EC2 instance has changed from Wimora underscore instance to Wimora underscore instance underscore 2, right? That's the only thing that Terraform was able to detect. If this state file was not there, Terraform would create a third EC2 instance. So right here, everything looks good. It says, apply complete, 0 resources. It says 0 added, 1 changed, 1 destroyed. Then if I go back to my AWS account, I should see that I now have, this EC2 instance right here. So why am I talking about this? The reason I'm talking about this is to make you understand that it's very dangerous to delete your state file. And in my next video, I will be, making a video explaining how to work with remote state in Terraform. So hopefully this video was helpful, and it helped you understand or get you more insight on Terraform states and how to use states in Terraform. Thank you guys for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with someone you think would find it helpful. Thank you guys so much. Bye.